The Nasty Boys loved being hated too, and boy, were we young fans hating them at home. It's one thing to go out and beat the Hart Foundation, some of our favorites, for the tag belts, but then we have to sit through a pretty memorable post match celebration with the rest of Jimmy Hart's stable and even Marla Maples all in the back with champagne. Um, Marla Maples and the Nasty Boys, this just kind of writes itself, does it not?
Yeah, it was great. I thought that, if you were going to take two worlds that were about as opposite as you could get and merge them together, that's exactly what you did right there. So she got a little taste of champagne, and all was good with the world.
Let's talk a little bit about the lawsuit. I guess there was a cease and desist at the time about the name, the Nasty Boys. Do you remember hearing anything about that? Were you involved in any of that?
No, I wasn't. I think, and it was from, wasn't it from a punk rock band or something like that?
I don't
But
recall.
I wasn't involved in it, no.
Well, back on the road, the Nasties are going to be working with the Legion of Doom for the tag titles. And that's a different presentation than against the Hart Foundation. You know, it's now two big brawling teams. What'd you think of their chemistry, LOD and the Nasties?
I think that the Nasties brought it to LOD unlike any other teams, had done. It's, LOD's got to go out and LOD's got to be strong and powerful and be LOD, and the Nasties had to be rough and tough and be the Nasties. So they didn't back down from the scary LOD. They brought the fight to them, and that was something that LOD wasn't ordinarily a part of. So they were always very dominant, and I thought they had very good chemistry.
We should also mention that their first big defense is a huge one because it's Saturday night's main event on NBC. And the Nasty Boys are going to retain the tag straps over the Bushwhackers in 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Totally different match, of course, than when they had 13 minutes with Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart. But still, it's a big opportunity to wrestle on a major broadcast network like this. And they start to get some babyface reactions a little bit. I mean, they're super entertaining as heels, and they're doing it all the way. But I find myself even back then, before I was a smart mark, I was a big fan of theirs. When did you notice? Hey, wait a minute. They're supposed to be bad guys, but people are kind of digging their presentation.
Well, I mean, look, what's not to dig? They're tough guys. They say what they're going to do, then they go out and they do it. They look cool. They're different than everybody else, and they're unapologetic for what they do. What's the hate? So I think that people started to look at them as, okay, you know what? They're pretty cool with everything that they do. So to me, it was just a matter of time until the audience comes around and says, yeah, no, I like these guys.
In an alternate universe, it probably would have been just a matter of time before they were on their Brother Love show, but it never happened. But I could have
My brother
imagined.
Love left.
Yeah.
Got fired.
You took a little break. You got to be as nasty as you wanted to be down at Heartbreakers.
Hiatus.
Let's talk about them as a tag team for a minute. I hate to talk about this way, but boy, conversations like this happen. Whenever you see a tag team, you naturally eventually start to think, okay, if they were to split up, and guys always make the comparison, fairly or unfairly, about Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Because when these teams break up, usually one enjoys great single success and the other maybe not so much. We won't name any other examples, but I don't think that ever even existed in my mind. Like, I never thought, hey, when the Nasty Boys break up, why did I never even allow myself as a young fan to even think that way? I mean, that almost seems unimaginable even now, them trying their hand as single stars. And I know eventually Brian did some stuff in WCW, but the idea that they were separate and on the same roster, I can't get behind that.
Well, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it worked in that situation. So look, Look, Sean and Marty were two individuals that were the Rockers. I think Brian and Jerry were the Nasties. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
They weren't, man, they just fit together. And maybe you could have, I don't know. I think I don't know. I think legitimately most people would tell you that Jerry is probably the toughest of the two. I don't know who would shine out of that. I think that they both kind of need each other, and they fit well together. They're brothers from another mother.
I got to talk a little bit about SummerSlam. I know you're not there, but that's where we see the Nasties drop the tag straps to LOD.
They're championships. They're not straps. They're not pieces of fucking leather. They're champions. They're championships.
You weren't even there. You don't know what they were using at the time.
Well, I know that they're referred to as more valuable to be a champion than a fucking strap.
All right, is that your new thing? You're just gonna?
No, it's just. I mean, that's just. It's not. People look at it not fighting over a strap.
You need to go to a medical facility.
Sometimes. That is where my doctor is at a medical facility.
No, yeah, I understand. Thanks everybody for tuning in to something to sports entertain with. WrestleMania.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in.
Yes, we greatly appreciate when you tune in to something to sports entertain with.
No, we tune in something to wrestle with, but
okay.
Saying, it's my pet peeve. It's not a strap.
I'm trying not to sneeze right now. I'm doing everything I can to not sneeze.
If you need to sneeze. Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to get fired.
Why? Who's going to fire you? You going to fire yourself for sneezing?
Well, God damn it, pal! There is no sick.
Well, I'm sick of this.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.